Good news. Such good news. I'm pregnant.
Alien, Earth, Nibs pregnancy, and the terrifying implications of Prodigy's hybrid experiment. Alien, Earth is designed from the ground up to unnerve its audience. This is not a show that deals in safety nets or comforting resolutions. Instead, it thrives on dread, presenting viewers with scenarios that crawl under the skin and refuse to leave. From the relentless terror of the iconic Xenomorphs to the introduction of 4 brand new alien predators, and even to the strangely disquieting detail of Boy Kavalier's perpetually bare feet, the FX series makes it clear from the start that it is not here to play nice. Yet, one of its most disturbing threads has nothing to do with gore, body horror, or teeth and claws. The series, created by Noah Hawley, manages to find terror in something far more psychological and insidious: the fragile human mind trapped inside an artificial body. That theme comes to the forefront in episode 4, Observation, when the hybrid girl known as Nibs delivers a chilling revelation during a therapy session with Dame Sylvia. Her claim is so unsettling that it rattles Sylvia, a woman typically portrayed as calm, rational, and unflappable, into breaking her composure and calling for security. It also leaves the audience with a haunting, uncomfortable question: could an alien truly impregnate a synthetic body? Let's find out pregnancy mystery of Nibs. A world ruled by corporations. To understand the stakes, we have to step back and look at the world of Alien, Earth. The year is 2120, a time when the planet has been carved up and divided among 5 megacorporations, each wielding near-total control over its respective territory. This isn't just corporate influence, it's corporate rule. Governments are either irrelevant or absorbed, leaving companies to dictate the future of the human race. Among these 5 powers, Weyland-Yutani is the most familiar to fans of the Alien franchise. True to form, they continue their deep space ventures, pushing further into the galaxy in search of alien organisms to weaponize, modify, or exploit. But Weyland-Yutani is not the only player. Another conglomerate, Prodigy, takes a very different path, one not outward, but inward. Rather than seek new life among the stars, Prodigy aims to reinvent humanity itself. Their breakthrough, at least on the surface, is extraordinary. Prodigy develops the technology to transfer a human consciousness into an immortal, synthetic body. These bodies aren't merely replacements, they are stronger, faster, and enhanced in ways that suggest the next step in human evolution. Immortality, superhuman abilities, and freedom from illness are all suddenly within reach. But, as with all great leaps, there's a catch. So far, the process only works on children's brains. Adults, with their rigid thought patterns and entrenched neural pathways, resist the transfer. Children, however, are still developing, still malleable. Their minds can be rewritten, repurposed, and reshaped to fit into these new artificial shells. The hubris of playing God. What if adult minds are too rigid, too fixed, and we can only begin with children? That single statement cuts to the heart of the show's thematic terror. The bodies are untested, the children fragile. Together, they form an experiment steeped in hubris, one that assumes the human mind can be treated like code, easily transferable, easily adapted to a new machine. But Hawley is clear, the experiment is not without consequence. These aren't blank slates being uploaded into polished vessels. These are terminally ill children, each carrying their own histories of pain, fear, and trauma. And when you take such damaged psyches and place them into bodies with no beating hearts, no organs, no natural rhythms of life, the results are bound to be volatile.
He didn't even come visit you when you were sick.
Boy Kavalier's cruel vision. From the very first episode, we learn that Prodigy's founder, Boy Kavalier, is behind these experiments. Played with an eerie, detached charm by Samuel Blinken, Kavalier approaches the project with a godlike arrogance. His vision is less about saving lives and more about proving the limits of science can be pushed, no matter the human cost. Kavalier specifically seeks out dying children as his test subjects. They are, in his mind, perfect candidates. Families believe them to be gone, written off by illness or tragedy, making their absence easier to erase. Their young minds are pliable, vulnerable, and malleable enough to endure the transfer process. That's how we meet Sydney Chandler's Wendy, the show's central hybrid. She begins as Marcy Hermit, a little girl suffering from terminal cancer. To her grieving family, she has already died. To Prodigy, she is the first success, a proof of concept that the hybrid experiment works. Once reborn as Wendy, she becomes something new, something unprecedented. The first human-alien hybrid, a bridge between humanity's frailty and Prodigy's vision of engineered perfection. The children of Prodigy. After completing her transformation, Wendy is asked to play the role of big sister to the next generation of subjects. She becomes a reluctant mentor to 5 other children, Slightly, Smee, Curly, Toodles, and Nibs. Each is given a codename, a symbolic attempt to strip them of their past lives and remake them as part of Prodigy's secret project. But the experiment is far from seamless. Not every child embraces their new identity, and the names themselves feel less like gifts and more like brands, signifiers of ownership, control, and forced transformation. For some, the adjustment is merely unsettling. For others, it is unbearable.
Well, it's true. I woke up this morning and I just knew.
The case of Nibs. Nibs' journey is the most troubling of them all. Unlike some of the others, she does not arrive at Prodigy as a clean slate. She carries with her trauma deeper than her illness, emotional wounds that are only magnified after a terrifying encounter with an alien predator known as the I-Midge. Haunted by visions of the creature attacking her, Nibs begins to spiral. Her hallucinations bleed into her waking reality, leaving her grasp on truth increasingly unstable. But then comes the revelation that transforms her from tragic victim to horrifying mystery. During a session with Dame Sylvia, Nibs claims she is pregnant. She even tells Sylvia she has chosen a name for the baby, Clarissa. When Sylvia pushes back, reminding Nibs that she is a synthetic being incapable of conceiving, the girl's demeanor changes violently. In a shocking outburst, she leaps across the room, physically threatening the therapist. The scene underscores the precarious balance of these hybrid children. They may be housed in enhanced bodies, but their minds remain fragile, fractured, and haunted. Trauma or terror. Nibs' claim forces the audience to confront 2 terrifying possibilities. The first is psychological. Her trauma is so profound that it has manifested in a delusion of pregnancy, a tragic echo of her pain and fear. The second possibility is far darker, that the I-Midge has in fact impregnated her hybrid body, proving that these synthetic vessels are not as immune to biological corruption as Prodigy believes. So, what exactly is happening here? The show seems to ask. Is Nibs simply unraveling under the weight of her past, or has she become host to something unimaginable? Hawley offers no clear answers, but provides a chilling framework for interpretation. Well, I don't want to spoil anything for you other than to say, these children aren't a blank slate, he teased during the Alien Earth press junket. They come to this experiment with whatever past they had, whatever damage. The flaw in the design. In later comments, Hawley expanded on the inherent flaws in Prodigy's ambition. They were all terminally ill, and that leaves a mark on the psyche, he explained. It's hubris to think you can take a human mind, place it in a body with no beating heart, no organs, and expect the strangeness of that not to push some characters over the edge. The experiment is not just about creating enhanced beings, it's about ignoring the very things that make us human, our mortality, our physical fragility, our lived experiences. By erasing those limits, Prodigy has inadvertently preserved something far more dangerous, the trauma and damage that define these children in life. I do think one of the themes we're exploring is this technology race, where no one is pausing long enough to ask what could go wrong, or to truly beta test these products, Hawley said. And sure, I can imagine there are both benefits and flaws to that. The supposed benefit is obvious, giving dying children a second chance at life. But the flaw is just as clear. These new bodies don't erase pain, fear, or psychological scars. They amplify them. Conclusion. A haunting question. In the end, Alien. Earth doesn't need gallons of gore to disturb its viewers. The terror lies in the questions it poses, about science, about morality, about the dangers of ambition unchecked. Prodigy's hybrids are meant to represent hope, but they embody something much darker, the persistence of trauma in bodies designed to be perfect. Nibs' pregnancy claim crystallizes that tension. Whether it is delusion or biological horror, it forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that technology cannot erase the human condition. If anything, it carries our flaws forward, amplifying them in ways we can neither predict nor control. And that, perhaps, is the most terrifying revelation of all.